is Amber and I work for Christian County Library, Nixa branch as a youth services assistant. Today I'll be showing you how to make some clay ornaments. In this video, I'm really just going to show you some ornaments that I made just to give you some inspiration and ideas, give you some information about the air dry clay, and give you some helpful tips as well. In your supply kits, if you registered for it, there are some cookie cutters, some paint, some twine, and glitter, just some things to help you get started. But really the ornament is up to you. Whatever you want to do, that's up to you. I'll show you some that I made and you can do it too, and I can show you how I made them. So the first one that I made is this one right here using the circle cookie cutter. It says ring-a-ling, hear them ring. And you could put some bells on this to make it even cuter. And then you could just hang it up on your Christmas tree, or you could hang it up on whatever you want, really. You could just use it as decoration. The next one I made, I used one of the other cookie cutters, and I just used a rolling pin to create an imprint, and this just has just a winter scene on it, and it's just some reindeer and trees and snowflakes, and it just made it like that. It just imprinted the image onto the clay. So I want you to see this, so I'm going to come in a little bit closer so you can see what it looks like. So just imprinted that image with the rolling pin. So you could do that. With this one, just use the cookie cutter, and I grabbed just a clipping from one of the bushes outside, and I just pressed it into the clay, and it created this fun little image on to my clay. You could do that with a leaf if you wanted to. You could do that with maybe some twigs or whatever you wanted, just to make it kind of a fun little nature themed ornament. I did this right here. So this one, you can't really see what it says, but it says his heart grew 3 sizes that day. And I just got some wooden beads and I painted 3 of them red. And then the last one that I made, I had these little stampers right here, and they're just regular stamps that you could use like for to put on paper, and I just stamped the word twinkle into it, and then I used the back of a paintbrush and I just put some little circle imprints into it. And with this one I used some red string to tie it with. So that one says twinkle. And that is the ones that I made. But you could also do, you can make a snowman. Just roll your dough, or your clay, sorry. You could roll your clay into little circles and then just attach them together and then just make your snowman. You could just do whatever you wanted, honestly. You could make a tree. If you have other cookie cutters, you could do that. You could just make it your own, whatever you wanted to do. But I just wanted to show you some of the things that I did so that you could maybe do them too if you wanted to. So here's some information about the air dry clay. since it's air dry, you don't have to bake it. It's going to take about 2 to 4 days for it to dry, depending on the thickness of the ornament that you make, and the size of it as well. So you're just going to want to put that in a warm, dry place, and also make sure the area that you're putting it on is completely flat. I found that some of the air dry clay does crack. And even if you put it somewhere where you think it's completely dry and you think it's completely safe, but it might crack still. So when I was doing some research on that, I found that the best thing that you could do is you can put your finished creation on a piece of aluminum foil and just put that on there, and then just set it somewhere that is out of reach of other things and just is warm and dry. And that'll make sure that it is will dry flat and won't crack as well. So that is a tip right there. I would also recommend that when you are using your clay, that you would lay out some parchment paper for it, because if you just use a surface like this, just a table, it will stick to it. When I was rolling it out, it was sticking to it really good. So after I rolled out some parchment paper, it didn't stick at all. If even wax paper might work too. So if you have that on hand, that's what I would use for the clay. I would also recommend a rolling pin to roll it out, because it will make it very flat. As you're rolling it, it'll flatten it out, and it'll just make it a lot smoother as you're doing it, so that you can use that cookie cutter in the best possible way. So I'm gonna roll out some. See, and it sticks a little bit when you're doing it, but we would rather have it sticky, honestly, than have it dry out. What you want to have, which I have right here, you want to have a bowl of water handy as you're making your ornaments, because it will start to dry out a little bit as you're making your ornaments. But you do not want to saturate your clay in water, because if you do, once it dries, your ornaments will actually look a little bit like this. I don't know if you can see this very well, but it's not completely straight. It's actually bent a bit. That ornament bent a bit, and even this one did as well. And that was because I added too much water as I was rolling it out, because it was drying a bit, and so I was adding water, but I was adding too much water. So you just want to add it a little bit at a time. Just get your fingers wet and just touch the clay. The rest turned out fine. Those are all flat, but the others did not. And you want to, when you're rolling out your clay, you don't want to make it too thick. You want to make it about 1/4 inch thick. That way, you'll decrease the chances of it cracking too. And plus, it won't take as long to dry if you do that. I'm just rolling it out with the rolling pin, and it's already creating just a very smooth surface on my clay. And it's a lot different from like Play-Doh, because Play-Doh is it has a lot of buoyancy. Like it's very stretchy. And with clay, it's not. So keep that in mind too when you're making your ornaments. Is that it's not the same as Play-Doh. It's not going to be as forgiving as Play-Doh is. And then you'll probably notice that when you get your dough, or your clay, sorry, when you get your clay, you're going to see that it doesn't look very white. It looks kind of like an off-white, but it will dry white. Okay, so I got it pretty flat, and I just wanted to show you that we'll just use this circle cookie cutter right here. And I'm just got it on my parchment. Actually, that's a little bit thicker than I wanted it to be, so I'm gonna roll it a little bit more, get it a little bit thinner than this. Flip it over, start to roll it out a little bit more. I'm just pressing down as I go. Okay, so let's get this cookie cutter right here. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, and you can see it's just going to come right off of this. I don't think I got my cookie cutter in there well enough. There we go. Okay, it just comes right up. And then you'll want to make a hole in the ornament before it dries. I used the back of a paintbrush to do that, just to make my hole. And then after it dried, it might close up the hole a little bit. And if you just work it with your fingernail, it'll just break off, and then you can just string your twine right through it. And there you go. Another thing that I made a owl ornament right here. And I wanted to show you how to make that if that was something that you would be interested in. This is just a little one that I made, but I'm just going to make a bit of a bigger one to show you how I did it. So I just have my clay right here. I'm going to break off this, because this, I'm not going to use that. I just want to get just a round piece of clay. Get it as round as I can anyway. You can even work it with your fingers if you want to. I might actually take some of this and push it down, because I want it to be as round as I can get it. Okay, just gonna roll it out really quick. It's a little bit bigger than I want, but I can just show you how to do it. Okay. Let me grab a pen really quick because I need a pen to do this. Okay. You're going to use the back of a pen to create, or even actually the lid of a pen, to create little indents just in the middle of your clay. Okay, move this out of the way really quick. And then I'm going to fold the two sides in like this. Oh, I might have went a little bit too far, but you're just going to fold them in. Tear this off because this isn't perfectly round and I want it to be as round as I can get it. Okay, then you're going to take this top piece right here and you're going to fold that down. And then you're going to pinch the top of it so that it looks like the owl's ears. So it looks like that. Looks like the owl's ears. And I'll smooth this out later on. But I just wanted to give you the idea of what it looks like. See? So you fold in the sides, fold the top down, and then you pinch the sides like this. Then with the back of the pen or the lid of the pen, you could use that too. Just going to press it down into the front of the owl to make it look like the owl's eyes. Then I'm going to use my pen to try to create an indent like this, just the top of the pen, to make it look like its nose. There you go, it looks like an owl. And if you wanted to make a smaller version, because this is obviously pretty big, you can make a smaller version of this and you can hang it up by putting some twine in the back of it and just pressing it into the clay. You could even grab some clay like this and pushing the twine into it. I don't have any twine with me, but I could show you how to do that. But you would just put clay on the back right here and then press it into it so that way it would hold. And then you would create a loop and you could hang it up. And that could be a little owl ornament. Now, I wanted to give you also, oh, there's my twine. So, didn't see it there. My bucket was blocking it. So if I wanted to just cut some of this twine right here, I could put this on the back like this, create just a loop, and I could grab some of this clay and I could push it into the clay like that. And that'll hold it, and then I can hang it up. And there you go. And that could be your owl ornament if you wanted to do that. I also wanted to give you some air dry clay recipes in case you wanted to make your own. If you found that after you made your ornaments, you just wanted to keep going and you wanted some more. So I found some air dry clay recipes. Now, bear in mind, I have not used these recipes personally. I have not used them, so I can't vouch for their, how good they are, how authentic they are. But I wanted to give you some recipes that you could maybe make at home. So the first one is, so this is also air dry, so you don't have to bake, but it is 1.5 cups of cornstarch, 1 cup of white school glue, 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, 1 teaspoon of lotion, and 1 tablespoon of baby oil. So you could do that and you just mix them together and then you would have your air dry clay. And then another one is 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of salt, 1 cup of hot water, and 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. That one sounds a bit like a salt dough, which I have heard that some salt dough ornaments, they tend to crack after a while. I mean, unless you have a great recipe for that. But that's just what I've heard. So just giving you that little bit of information. Another one is a 1/2 cup of cornstarch, 1 cup of baking soda, and 3/4 cup of water. So those are some recipes. So if you wanted to make them yourself, go ahead. And that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoy making these. I think this is a fun winter craft. You can put these anywhere. You can give them as a gift for someone. You can just hang them up on a wall. You can do whatever you want with them, honestly. And I think it's just fun to mold and sculpt things with clay anyway. So I really hope that you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time. Bye.